James Willenes, thank you for joining me at the tasting table today. These wine glasses are next. These are the pure wine collection glasses from Schott Zwiesel, and I'll tell you why I've revised the point score on these wine glasses. Stay tuned. I'll give you my thoughts and reflections on these wine glasses. Stay tuned. My number one video is the Schott Zwiesel review of 10 years ago, 2012. It's 2022. I thought it needed to be updated for a lot of reasons. I've been tasting a lot of different wines from a lot of different wine silhouettes and brands, and I've really become, I wouldn't say a perfectionist, but I've really become really an optimized person when it comes to the best wine glass to be tasting from. Very important to think about, because do you really want to be tasting amazing wines from a substandard glass? Probably not, because it'll interfere with that characteristic, that experience, and that enjoyment. Now, I did, bring this glass here. This is the Riedel. This is Riedel Performance. Now, it's not that the performance is going to go against these. It's pretty much a control glass because it is a burgundy silhouette. These two other wine glasses are much more modern in design. These are going to really reflect approximately from the mid-90s and even earlier perhaps. You see a cylindrical or very sharp-edged wine glass, and if you've ever experienced that, I've done reviews on the worst wine glasses I've ever experienced, and that is one of them, because they're so angled. There is no reason, if you swirl, that there's going to be any difference in the wine or any add to the oxygen to the wine. And ultimately, it's a very disappointing wine experience. Not everyone is opening up hundreds of dollars of bottles of wine per day, and maybe not even occasionally. But even if you're spending, say, $20, $30, $40, you really do want to optimize that experience, because there is a difference. And it's not, picking a particular brand's position on a specific silhouette to highlight the wine that you're tasting, but to really think about that differently and to frame it in a way that you definitely want a fantastic, good experience. I was at a trade wine tasting here in San Francisco. At that tasting, it was a really nice area from Italy, region, DOCG actually, and the wines were poured in really substandard wine glasses. I heard someone say that they cost $1 per stem, and it definitely tasted like, every single wine tasted like every other wine, which is not true for this particular DOCG. In fact, any DOCG or any wine region, you are going to have some differences, and that's what you should have. That's what you should experience. But ultimately, the experience was so disappointing that I had to think about my notes, and I couldn't publish anything on it because there was nothing that I could actually pick up. And, I was really trying to get a sense for it, and it was nearly impossible to do. So wine glasses are important. I've advocated for a long time for you as a consumer, even myself, I do buy wine glasses, is to buy the best wine glass possible. I have broken wine glasses before, and it is painful. It is not easy to go through, especially for ones, and I've broken very expensive glasses. But I definitely framed it in terms of, I know that I had a limited time with that wine glass, and ultimately I would buy it again, especially for those high-end silhouettes, because of the lightness and the unique quality to the wine glass, and it's being handmade is another factor. For me, it's important. For other people, probably not so much. And so let's talk about these wine glasses here. Now, when I look at Schott Zwiesel, I think, they're very, of course, very angular. You definitely want that. And you definitely notice when a diminutive foot is on a table. It's not being a perfectionist. It's like it makes the world of difference. Now, if you look at the Riedel glass, they're a lot larger than these here. It's probably hard to tell, but the picture definitely does justice in terms of what this is. So this is, very highly angled glass. It, performs well in terms of, say, cleaning. Yes, some people don't believe in machine cleaning. I do occasionally. Maybe I just do it with water, but I definitely want a clean wine glass. And so these do wash well in the dishwasher. So when I was looking at the old video that I did, it was, I think I was looking at concern of durability, reducing breakage. And when I look at my glasses that I have had, I've actually reduced the breakage in terms of, say, how I clean my wine glasses. I have a video on that as well, of course. But to me, it was really reducing that factor. Also, just accepting the fact of breaking wine glasses is inevitable, and I can buy them again if I want to. Now, these wine glasses here are nice, durable wine glass, and of course, these are non-leaded wine glass and patented material. I think it's nicely constructed. I would say this cheapened quality of this foot here which has kind of this edge to it that is not as seamless as the Riedel glass, which has no edging to it at all. And so it feels different and it responds differently. But guess what? More importantly is how it performs. And so this is not the glass of optimized performance. So this is the same pour, same wine. This is a Portuguese white wine blend, same vintage, same producer. And I really want to see, how do these express? Are they going to express differently? I did expect that, right? Without even tasting them, but also going through each of these was kind of remarkable. I did a red wine tasting on these stems as well, and the same differences were noted as well. But I thought I'm just going to run through the white wines because I think that's important. So I'll start off here with this glass. And one thing I found remarkable was when I compared this to the other glasses. Imagine if you just had this glass and you didn't have another glass to compare. So I definitely urge you to do that as well. Do your own test and see what you think. Smell this. So when I smell this wine, it's a little more, I'd say there's a lot of bounce back on this. So I'm not really getting anything other than, say, just maybe a white floral notation. And that's all I get from this wine, which is a bit disappointing. So I'll take a taste of this wine and just give some feedback, real-time feedback. Nice yellow citrus to that. A bit of white floral notes and a bit of stony composition. And next is a sister glass. This is the Bordeaux glass of Schott Zwiesel, pure collection. So here we go with this glass. Let's take a smell of this wine here. So a little more, distance between me and the glass itself, or the wine on the bottom portion of the glass. To me, it's almost identical in some ways, even though there's a longer space between here and here. I definitely get this bounce back characterization, so it's very linear in some ways. So on this, just mainly like oyster shell note, and it's really hard to get a fruit notation on this, and so that's a bit disappointing on this wine. So let me give a taste and see if that makes any difference on this wine glass. So here we go. So in this, it's interesting, even though I feel like there's the same bounce back effect on this wine glass, and think about the characterization, it doesn't have a lot of volume to fold oxygen into the wine itself. And so I think there's part of one of the physical attributes to this wine glass. While it looks really fantastic and modern, it doesn't always work well in terms of expressing the wine the way it should. So on this, I'm getting a little more characterization, white, stone fruit, again, the mineralities there, but I would expect a few more notes to come out. So the olfactory sensory neurons are what really are scenting the wine. That is, we're smelling the wine. We're going to, fully express that in terms of our neurological response on the wine itself. Scent is very important, right? And you can see anywhere it's cited between 60 and 95% of our taste perception is from scent. I go with the standard about 80%, which is still a very high number, but that's the olfactory sensory neurons that are doing their work to help us understand distinguishing characteristics and flavors. And so that is really interesting on that wine here, because think about that. If I'm not really being able to smell the wine in a certain fashion, I'm going to taste it slightly differently. So here we go with this wine glass. This is the Riedel wine glass, a performance glass. And this, I know that this is this wine itself is not going to be, the most aromatic wine to choose, but it's also a good test to really go through and characterize the wine. So on this, I'm getting a little more nuance on this. So a bit of sea spray notes, as well as mineral, white stone fruit notes, and a hint of white floral as well. And next, the palate characterization. A little more complexity unfolds in this glass, the Burgundy style glass. So in my opinion, I would go with the Burgundy style, a traditional style for me. And that's based on a lot of experience and a lot of trials that I do in my own home, my own tasting table, to uncover, discover the best characterized wines from the best vessels possible, right? So 100 years ago, 50 years ago, we didn't have the great choices that we have today in wine glass selection. So this, to me, the Riedel Performance does a really nice job. It's not my favorite wine glass. You'll see the video review up here, by the way, for other reasons. I'm not a perfectionist, but an optimizer when it comes to wine glasses. I want the closest thing to the highest level of optimized experience for all of us who taste wine. Now, I think this is a nice experience. A lot of white stone fruit to this, a bit of autumnal fruit as well. I'm also getting some moistened mineral seashell, compacted seashells, and so a white floral notation. So a lot more I would say it picks up the nuances of the wine. I think tasting this, it went from this glass to the white wine glass of the Pure Collection, and I would say markedly different experiences. So while this was a 92-point glass, these are now downgraded to 90 points. So it is a glass that I probably wouldn't buy again, even though I think, I bought this again because I really miss this highly elongated experience. I think in my experience, I definitely like a large format. I definitely like larger the better. I know that some people don't like it, but to me, I think I get some really amazing characterization from the wine glass itself. While there's no perfect vessel, I think there's better ways of getting to enjoy your wines that you're treasuring and collecting. So to me, I would, give these, re-review of 90 points. I'm not going to buy them again. And this one, I probably wouldn't buy again either, the 92-point wine glass. And so I'm always on the quest for even better. So I like to, bring that out because I think it's important to calibrate, right? When you have enough experience and you have enough, I'd say broad spectrum experiences that are going to inform slightly differently your experience and, inform what you're tasting in a different manner, and having the understanding of how you taste and how your body's perceiving that experience and how it really informs the palate of that particular taste. That's important to know. So thank you for watching. Questions and comments down below, and please give a like, subscribe to this channel, share this video with somebody who's interested in wine glasses and somebody who's looking for a really nice wine glass. And also, this is important for those who have seen the previous review and why the downgrade was necessary. I don't take downgrades lightly, but I also like to put in and fold in experience and also calibrate that experience so that some better informed ways of looking at wine glasses and purchasing the right wine glass for your table. Thank you for watching, and we'll stay in contact. You'll find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and WordPress. I appreciate your support, and I will see you very soon. Santé.